Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is Zishan Isaac with Zishan on air every Sunday, 6 p.m. and onward with the legacy media as well as all over the world through social media. And without further ado, we will dive right into today's topics. We have a lot of things that we need to cover today. I'm going to first start with the main information and news, which is certainly very sensitive as well as very tragic. And what is happening in our country and in my country, the United States of America, is unbelievable, and it's not normal. Trump's ICE force is sweeping America. Billions in his tax and spending cuts bill are paying for it. That's AP News, and all the various news outlets have covered how much funding has gone into ICE. And ICE is operating under the kind of laws that are not in the books. Even they are not following what's part of their own procedures and protocols, and they are just straight up blaming the victims. There's no other way to put it. I'm reporting, you decide. A lot of people have reached out to me. I have no words to express my deep sympathy, and my thoughts and prayers are with this latest tragedy with Alex Jeffrey Pretty, who was an ICU nurse at the VA hospital. That's right, VA hospital, Veterans Affairs Hospital in Minneapolis. Now, what is happening? We will get to it in a minute. But with regards to the border crossings down, that is certainly good news. But Americans confront new ICE enforcements. And when I say Americans, yes, citizens. There are two citizens who have now been shot by ICE. They have been shot. The administration can put anyone under a microscope and they can damage their reputation. They can just say that, oh, this person was a domestic terrorist or this person was this and that. But the facts on the ground are completely different. That's why no one is believing this nonsense anymore. And my voice may feel small, but when enough Americans will speak up and call it out, the madness stops, and the madness will stop. So here we are again. We were trying to heal this wound, and especially hats off to Minneapolis people, residents of Minneapolis in the extreme cold. I'm right here in Texas, especially in Sugar Land, Texas, and in Houston, greater Houston area, where we are also feeling this below freezing temperatures. And since Texas and especially Houston, greater Houston area is not built for extreme weather conditions, although it's nothing as compared to Midwestern and other states because it's just below 30, with wind chill factor could be 17 or in some places could be 13. But it's still, the barometer will only show 29, 28, which is nothing, right? But because the authorities here and those who are in charge and position of power, they have not invested in the right equipment, which they have to, because now it's becoming a regular occurrence. That is a topic for some other day, but it's very timely topic because we've got to put pressure on those who are been elected locally. These folks, I'm sorry to say, 99.9% people who are representing us at the local level, at the state level, and at the federal level, I think they are some other kind of breed. They may look humans, they know how to manipulate, divide and conquer, but they do not connect with the average day, everyday American. And that's why they will come up with all the millions of excuses in the world. And here we go again, especially with our Senator Ted Cruz, who always finds the best time to travel when Texans are actually suffering with the extreme weather conditions. Last time I went to Cancun. That's why a lot of people gave him Ted Cancun Cruz as his name. And now again, he has been already been filmed, and people have made his video where he just was like, okay, I'm just going to leave the state because Texans will have to suffer. So people are on their own, and if that's the kind of America you believe in, then may God help you and may God help us. So this is why today's discussion is going to be from my heart. It's not politics anymore. And Alex Jeffrey Pretty, who was somebody that his friends, his coworkers, and many people who worked with him, they were literally crying because he was one of those people that he had deep compassion to help others. And it doesn't matter he was carrying a concealed open carry license, which it matters because he was carrying it. Anyone who would carry it, that means you would just, shoot him. There was this guy, people are, I'm not going to name any names, but we all know Republicans were talking about, oh, look at this guy who was carrying AR-15 or something else that he brought to some protest, peaceful protest. So this hypocrisy needs to stop. This is not an issue between Republicans anymore. This is not an issue between Democrats anymore. This is not an issue between Democrats, Republicans, or independents. This is about Americans now. Now more American citizens are dead. Renee Nicole Good, and now Alex Jeffrey Pretty. He's dead as well. And I'm going to read what his family has said, because imagine the parents, what they are going through. No parents, or not any parent, should go through the loss of his or her child that they have to bear in their lifetime, because parents should be the first to go, and then obviously children to follow, because all of us will have to die someday. But this death, this could have been avoided. An analysis video, obviously from the scene, from the New York Times, and all these multiple angles, and the way it was characterized by those who are in charge, is not only despicable, but completely out of line. And if this kind of apathy continues in America, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say when people will stop caring for those who are caring for others. When he was trying to help this other woman and he was making a video, he was, shooting a video, which is completely legal. And if you're not going to shoot a video, what are they trying to do? They want to hide something? Why is the process not transparent? What are they trying to hide? Are they trying to create the civil war where this whole notion now in all social media, in all these different types of chatter that people are openly talking about, and some reverends and some pastors and priests are literally praying now to God that, there shouldn't be any civil war in this country? Why are people talking about it? Because there's enough fear and paranoia and the kind of rhetoric that is coming from this White House, where his ratings are down, the disapproval ratings, where the way he's conducting as the president of the United States of America is beneath the dignity of the office of the presidency of the United States of America. And are we all subjects to some king now? If that's the America you believe in, and if Republicans who actually voted for him, if they're not going to stand up and call this out, then I don't know what to say. And this is not about politics anymore. This is about human life. This is about human dignity and some decency. So we have to be as passionate as possible and raise as much voice. Even my voice may feel small, but when enough Americans will speak up and call this out, then we will see this madness that will stop. So the Wall Street Journal video contradict US account of Minneapolis shooting by federal agents. Obviously, they always blame the victim. Renee Good, when she was trying to get away from the scene, she in fact said, I'm not mad at you. And that person was given presidential immunity. Now the second person shot him. He will also claim that if the first person got presidential immunity, that this person should also get presidential immunity. So the lives of the law enforcement officers are considered much more important as a life of an ordinary citizen. If that's the America we want to live in, if that's the kind of a police state we want to live in, then sure, we should all perhaps, acknowledge it. And if that's not the America that we believe in, then enough Americans need to stand up and call it out like it is. Here is another video where close-up video shows, and this is all over the social media. That's why they are scared of all of us when we have these cameras. I think these cameras are now more dangerous than a gun, because this person didn't even draw his gun. It was in a holster and he was carrying license. And even if it can be seen, there was no way he was trying to, withdraw his weapon. And then The Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, and in his news conference, he already said it. And he said it very openly and eloquently and clearly that now they have to file a case to even get evidentiary evidence or the evidentiary documents, and there's a legal term for it, that even to get access to the evidence and the file, because they're not even releasing the file. So the federal judge granted that. And the other important thing is there's no rule of law when it comes to ICE enforcement. They can knock on anyone's door without getting an arrest warrant. That's right. You heard it clearly. I did a lot of research on this. And they can knock on anyone's door because all they need, and that's what they're doing in Minneapolis, all they need is just some official within the department, and they can just sign it. Administrative order, not by a judge. So at least they have some legal ground that, oh, that's the reason we just, knocked on that door. And it's not going to be a knock, actually. In some cases, they have actually blown away the doors. The doors were used with explosives. And this is happening right here in our country. This is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan we're talking about. This is not Syria we're talking about. We're talking about the United States of America. The Reverend Brian Berghoff here, he also showed the video where this person and people have taken still shots, and you can see it. And those who are watching me live on social media, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. And here is Alex Pretty. And I'm going to read the statement from his family. Because if we're not going to feel this moment as if one of our own friend or loved one has died in Minneapolis, this ICU nurse who was working at the VA hospital in Minneapolis, I don't think it will even struck a chord or make any movement in anyone's heart, because we have become a heartless society, unfortunately. Because it's still happening. When Renee Nicole Good, when she was shot, she was a mother, and she is someone who also deeply cared for people. I personally thought, and being cautiously optimistic, that maybe that was the last death of a US citizen by ICE, but I was wrong. And I certainly hope that this was the last death of a US citizen by ICE people. I don't know what other adjective I should use. So what is this statement made by the family? So this is from the family of Alex Brady, and it's all over the news media. I'm going to read it here. We are heartbroken, but also very angry. Alex was a kind-hearted soul who cared deeply for his family and friends, and also the American veterans whom he cared for as an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA hospital. Alex wanted to make a difference in this world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. I do not throw around the hero term lightly. However, his last thought and act was to protect a woman. The sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Alex is clearly not holding a gun when attacked by Trump's murdering and cowardly ICE thugs. He has his phone in his right hand, and his empty left hand is raised above his head while trying to protect the woman ICE just pushed down, all while being pepper sprayed. Please get the truth out about our son. He was a good man. Thank you. Quote unquote, Michael and Susan Preddy. And then there's also a picture, obviously, credit to the VA, and it's all over the social media. Now, if you are so busy with your lives, I get it. We all have bills to pay. We all have our, daily jobs. People are working 2 or 3 jobs trying to put food on the table. But this is the moment where we all have to stop whatever we're doing. I know people are trying to, protect their, pets, plants and all that. But if we're talking about that and not talking about this, shame on you. Shame on anyone who is in the public life and not talking about Alex, not talking about Alex Brady, not talking about Nicole. And she was also someone who passed away just a few weeks ago in January. It's not even a month yet. So this is where you'll see all this information on social media everywhere, and my thoughts and prayers are with the Alex Pretty's family, and it's just a very, very sad moment in the history of the United States of America, where I never thought that as an American I would ever have to speak about this. And my voice may feel small, but I tell you that when enough Americans will call out this murder and will call out in black and white the murder of another citizen, then this madness will stop. Otherwise, it will continue. And I hope I'm wrong, but we have enough evidence now with all the social media videos and people's discussions. And now even there are very dangerous armed groups in the name of protecting citizens. I'm not going to name any names. They're out there. They're patrolling the streets now in Minneapolis. And if this can happen in Minneapolis, it can happen in any city. And again, this is not a Democrat issue. This is not a Republican issue. This is not an independent issue. This is an American issue now. Moving on to this other information, because we have limited time and we have to continue with the legacy media as well. And I'll take some phone calls as well on the air. And if you have some comments, you can certainly share your comments and share and like and subscribe my YouTube channel and share it with others. In fact, that's the least you can do. New Gaza plan has been out there now. The Board of Peace, you can see these pictures. Master plan as it has been shared, and many countries have signed up and many countries have not signed up. For example, UK and France, they have not signed up to be a member of this Board of Peace, where the chairperson, the chairman would be President Trump for lifetime. And there is a $1 billion fee if you want to have that membership beyond 3 years, and they will have to pay. So that's the master plan. And this is another interesting factor where, like I said, 99.9% people who are in politics and those who are politicians and those who are all over the world, they say one thing in public and do something else completely different in private. One example is even by Donald J. Trump. And it's funny because, and the reason I say it's funny because Mr. President, that's basically what Donald J. Trump, through his Truth Social account, he shared some of those texts himself. For example, from this text from Macron and even from the Secretary General of NATO, and in public they criticize Donald Trump like if Donald Trump is their worst political enemy. So Mark Rutte, he is the Secretary General of NATO, and Donald J. Trump shared his text. And what he texted Donald Trump: Mr. President, dear Donald, what you accomplished in Syria today is incredible. I will use my media engagements in Davos to highlight your work there, in Gaza and in Ukraine. I am committed to finding a way forward on Greenland. Can't wait to see you. Yours, Mark. And this is not any means of dramatization, but I just want to have some political satire to this as well, right? Otherwise, politics is a very boring topic as well. So we got to make it interesting too, at least in this particular case. Here's another one from President Macron. Yes, from France. So from President Macron to President Trump: my friend, we are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you're doing on Greenland. Let us try to build great things. And then there are a couple of points. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, has shared in this private text to the president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, which he himself has shared on Truth Social. You can see it out there. So the first point is, I can set up a G7 meeting after Davos in Paris on Thursday afternoon. I can invite the Ukrainians, the Danish, the Syrians, and the Russians in the margins. And number two, let us have a dinner together in Paris, together on Thursday before you go back to the US. Emmanuel, 5:01 p.m. So this is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. The Washington Post S&P slides 2.1% after Trump threatens new tariffs over the Greenland matter. Why? Because obviously these countries that are, you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, Germany, France, UK, they all opposed US or Trump, I would say, but obviously US, because President of the United States of America is Donald J. Trump, and he said it that we want it, we need this piece of land. So he put tariffs on them, but then later, after 1 or 2 days, and as the markets, moved up and down, and many people made a lot of money, and many people lost every day investor. But those who obviously cannot afford to lose, or those who know what they're doing in the Wall Street, the big players, they never lose. So they basically made even billions on this, or millions of dollars. So that's where those tariff situation, or those tariffs have been taken back or recalled, because President Trump then announced that, oh, by the way, there is now a framework in place on Greenland. So for now, this issue is there, but who knows? One day we'll see markets going up and down again on the tariff situation on Greenland. That's the word on Main Street. How much can one man make from being president? That was the New York Times. The president took an oath to serve the American people. Instead, he's focused his second term on enriching himself and his family. January 20th, 2026. That was reported by $1.4 billion, and some more millions are in there as well, with at least 500,000 there as well. But that's 1.408.5. That's right. That is reported by the New York Times. Nakwi-cast. So now we're moving on to the political aspect, to some politics that has been now in every shape or form, in every field, in every sector. Sports. Again, I just can't fathom that it's 2026. Feels like maybe we're in 1726, maybe, where sports have a lot of politics. And this is where the Nakwi, who is the person from Pakistan, is a PCB chairman, and he also is probably some minister as well. But the Cricket Info has reported, and can Nakwi cast uncertainty on Pakistan's participation in T20 World Cup after Bangladesh ouster. So Bangladesh is no longer going to be playing in the T20 World Cup, which will start in India, because Bangladesh and their board made a concern that they have a concern of the safety of their players, and given a very political tense situation and relations between Bangladesh and India right now, so they said that we want to play maybe in Sri Lanka. So what has happened now, the ICC has actually removed Bangladesh, and they have replaced Bangladeshi team with including Scotland. So this is another serious situation in terms of mingling politics and sports. So we have politics everywhere, unfortunately. And I don't know what kind of world we're going to leave for our children and grandchildren, because they're going to be growing up in an era where everything will be politics. If you drink water, maybe with right hand, it's politics. If you drink water with both hands, it would be politics. If you drink water with left hand, maybe if your right hand has a cast, or maybe you're just drinking with the left hand, you may be labeled as a lunatic, or maybe heretic or something else. That's the world we're operating and living in now, because there's no common sense anymore. There's no human decency left, and politics is everywhere. So Reuters has also reported this: Bangladesh replaced by Scotland at T20 World Cup. So sorry to all those Bangladeshi fans. I love sports, and I just couldn't believe it that Bangladesh is out of the World Cup just because they were told that no, you got to play in India or you cannot play. Although the same could be talked about India, because they also have made many claims, and they have in fact said it many times, where they don't want to play in Pakistan or in other places, and they played then in a neutral place, maybe Dubai or somewhere else, in different tournaments in Asia Cup, what have you, and they got away with it. And Bangladesh being, again, maybe not as big as the economy of India, so they can get away with it, and they were replaced by Scotland. So might is right. So when the United States of America does it, no one should complain about it, because this is where the ICC is doing this, because might is right. The biggest board in terms of revenue and from an economic standpoint is the BCCI board, which is the Cricket Board of India. So might is right there. So obviously, because of commercialization and because of money and all that, morals and ethics doesn't matter. So if the same thing can be done by India, that's fine, because we will let India go with it. That's what ICC has clearly proven based on their actions. And Bangladesh, being a small economy and it doesn't matter, we'll just replace them with Scotland. So that's the world we're living in. And let's not just stop there with regards to cricket. The world's biggest sport, obviously, is FIFA, or the federation, I would say, or soccer. And I love soccer. In fact, I love soccer more than cricket, because cricket is sometimes very predictable, and it's sports that is only watched with these enthusiasts from the ex-British colonies. That's why in the United States, cricket will never be as popular. You will only see immigrants or people who are descendants of immigrants, perhaps, will be playing cricket, because we watch baseball. In fact, baseball is the America's sports, or football, or even soccer is popular. So now German FA official wants World Cup boycott talks. That was a report by BBC. And when I read that news, I was like, oh my gosh. So there is politics in, obviously, FIFA, and there's a lot of politics in FIFA, and I'm not naive about it because of the Qatar situation and the World Cup and how Qataris, they did whatever they did, and everyone knows. You can read all about it. I don't want to even say it. And they got the World Cup back then, and they were so happy. Oh, we got the World Cup, as if they conquered the world. That's Qataris for you, unfortunately. So intellectual people and people who have brains, and even 1% of brains, I mean, they think about all of these things, and they discuss it with the people, and they laugh about it. Even maybe some of their own officials will be laughing about it. They cannot say it publicly, but that's what it is. So here we are, and 70 plus games, I think about 78 games, soccer games in FIFA World Cup will be held in the US. Others, I think, will be in Mexico, some, and maybe in Canada. So some other countries are also talking about it. Denmark will aim to qualify for the tournament via playoffs, and let's see if Denmark wants to play, if they get qualified. I'm not following whether Denmark qualified or not, but they are, in some reports, 7 or 8 countries are talking about boycotting the World Cup. Let's see what happens. I hope they don't. Let's keep politics out of sports, whether it's cricket or soccer here. And this is the world that we are currently living in. So I would like to thank our key advertisers. First of all, Affordable Insurance of Texas, AITinsurance.com, 713-785-4000 is their phone number, 713-785-4000 for auto insurance needs, for your auto insurance quotes. Call them. They've been in business for over 2 decades, and they have many locations in Houston, Greater Houston, in other cities in Texas as well. And you can visit them online, www.aitinsurance.com, for health insurance, commercial insurance, business insurance, even homeowners insurance. If you want to bundle your auto and homeowners insurance, call them. 713-785-4000. That's aitinsurance.com. And also, I would like to mention Roop Saudi Palace. Roop Saudi Palace, they are at Hillcroft. Their phone number is 832-267-0065, 832-267-0065, and roopsaudi.com is the web address, www.roopsaudi.com. If you want to have anything shipped, go visit their website and then just call this number, 832-267-0065, and they will ship it to you anywhere in the continental US, East Coast to West Coast. And you can have all these beautiful designer clothes for men, women, for boys, girls, and for brides and for grooms, as you can see on this picture as well. And visit roopsaudi.com or call 832-267-0065 if you would like to just order it, and they can ship it to you. I would also like to mention Shanghai. That's right, ShanghaiTexas.com. That's their web address. You can call them for catering. They have very good catering discounted rates for Zishan On Air. For party trays, you can also go online or just visit 5920 Hillcroft in Hillcroft Shopping Center. In Hillcroft area street, you cannot miss it. That's 59 5,920 Hillcroft Street. You can see their address online or Google it, Suite D. Their phone number is 713-953-1388. They have done catering. I was talking to Mr. Shahid Ali, and he has done catering just recently for 700 people, 600, 400 people, and even many thousands of people. So call them, 713-953-1388, and you will get best catering discounts. ShanaiTexas.com. That's the web address, SHAHNAI.com, or Shanai Restaurant Catering. I would also like to mention Prince Jewelers Houston. That's right, Prince Jewelers Houston. They've been in business for decades, very credible. You can sell your gold jewelry. You can buy 22 karat gold jewelry, sell your 22 karat gold jewelry. They'll give you the same rate and whatever is the market rate. And rest assured, credible people, they will work with you and with all different kinds of designs, heavy sets, light sets, depending on whatever ounces or how many grams of gold jewelry you're buying for chains, type jewelry, necklaces, earrings, rings. Prince Jewelers. Their phone number is 281-777-1457, or visit them, 5901 Hillcroft Street, Suite C3. And also, with regards to this, I would say, situation with our advertisers, because if you're not going to mention Zishan on air, how will they know? So always mention my name, Zishan, that's Zishan on air, or you have seen or heard it, and they will give you the best rates. Also, I would like to mention about a chef. Now, this chef needs to be very good in all different kinds of cuisines, and we're looking for a Pakistani chef or an Indian chef, and that person needs to be a chef. And we're talking about calling this number, Mike of Demasi's restaurant, and you can call Mike, and I'm just going to share this number on the screen. It's on the screen, you can see it. If those of you who obviously are not watching me live on social media, I'll read the number for you. It's 832-605-0600. That's Mike. Call him if you are a chef, 832-605-0600. And you need to be a chef, and you need to know how to make Pakistani cuisine, and especially all different kinds of items from biryani, pulao, korma, butter chicken, kadhai goat, these type of items. So it's not just only biryani anymore, because he is definitely wanting a chef who knows how to make biryani, but at the same time, all these other items as well. So this is very important. This search is still going on. They have not hired yet, but interviews are being conducted. I know there are a lot of people who are good chefs, or they are looking to change, your restaurant. This is a place for you, because the Masi's Mediterranean Buffet, they have so many locations, but they're looking for a chef at their Sugarland location, not any other location, perhaps maybe later. But call this number, call Mike, but don't go there. Just call him first, 832-605-0600. Text him or leave him a message and say that you heard it from me, from Zishan on air, and call him, so you will be that chef. So he's looking for a Pakistani chef. That's preference, because Indian chefs, they're good too, but the difference of flavor and the taste is there. So give it a shot. If you're a Pakistani chef, I think you have a better chance. If you're an Indian chef, you still have a chance, if you know how to be very versatile in terms of making Pakistani items as well, with a lot of mutton and goat and beef as well, because Indians, they don't eat, most of them don't eat beef. Some eat goat, very few people, and chicken, many people eat. So that's why not many Indian chefs know how to make these meat items. It's a fact. So if you're a Pakistani chef, call Mike, 832-605-0600. So they're looking for a chef, Pakistani chef or Indian chef, call Mike, 832-605-0600. That's the need, because the customers are wanting Pakistani items, Pakistani cuisine, and it's becoming very famous, especially in this part of the town. And call Mike. So with that, I would like to sign off. And if you have not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do. And again, I report, you decide. I hope we will continue to have freedom of speech, freedom of expression. But right now, our Second Amendment is under threat. Our First Amendment is also under threat. And all the amendments, I think, are at risk at this point. And that's why when enough Americans speak up, the madness stops. More power to those who can speak eloquently, make their case. I can tell you this, and I will end with this. We can certainly differ and have different point of views on politics, right? I mean, we can certainly disagree on many areas in terms of how we need to have a different type of solutions. We can certainly disagree politically, right? But we should all agree on this. And what is that? Transparency matters, accountability matters, and election matters. So let's have this. At least that let's have transparency. Let's have due process. That's very important right now. It's under threat. It's due process of law. So due process matters, and then election matters. So if these 3 or 4 things, if we all agree on this, regardless of our political affiliations, regardless of political ideology, regardless if you are a Democrat or a Republican or independent, if you are an American and you really believe in American values and you have that decency and you know that it's just not right, it doesn't feel right, then don't believe what anyone else is seeing. Believe what you are seeing and watching in these videos, and you will get to the right conclusion. So with that, I report, you decide. I'm signing off, and we'll meet again next Sunday, same time at 6 p.m. If you've not subscribed my YouTube channel, please do connect with me on social media with Facebook Live, YouTube Live as well, and also with the Instagram. Thank you. Bye-bye.